Despite a landslide re-election victory for Governor DeSantis last November, new polling shows Sunshine State voters prefer a different Florida man for the 2024 Republican presidential primary there. In the latest survey from Florida Atlantic University, Donald Trump leads DeSantis by 20 points, 50% to 30% among registered Republican voters in the state. All other candidates earned less than 5% of support. Meanwhile, Donald Trump lashing out, this time training his ire on Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds. Trump called the Republican governor disloyal after she said she will remain neutral and not endorse any candidate in the presidential primary race. Iowa governors typically make that pledge because the state's primary is so closely watched. Trump, however, called the move unacceptable and suggested that she's favoring Ron DeSantis, writing on Truth Social yesterday, quote, "I opened up the governor's position for Kim Reynolds, and when she fell behind, I endorsed her, did big rallies, and she won. Now she wants to remain neutral. I don't invite her to events." The comments come just days after Reynolds appeared at an event with DeSantis' wife. The governor has shown up to several of his campaign events, but she has also appeared alongside multiple other candidates when they visited her state. Several of them, including DeSantis, came to her defense following Trump's comments, posting on Twitter that Reynolds is a strong leader. Willie?
Joining us now, senior writer for The Dispatch, David Drucker. David, it's good to see you this morning. I'll let you comment on Donald Trump versus Governor Reynolds if you want to, but I don't know if you got a chance to hear some of what Governor Christie was just saying, kind of about the state of this race, his place in it, but more broadly, how this might shake out over the next several months. How are Republicans, how are some of these candidates looking at their chances right now against Donald Trump when, despite everything surrounding him, the indictments that are here, the indictments that may be coming, he's still up 20 points in Ron DeSantis' own state of Florida?
Yeah, Willie, I just returned from New Hampshire. I spent a couple of days up there. I've been in Iowa, and I've basically, this is the big question I keep asking everybody is this a race that is just slow to develop and give it time? And as we have seen in other primaries, and Governor Christie, referenced 2007 with Barack Obama, 2008, how that primary shook out for Republicans. We could go on 2016. Once this thing really gets underway, we're going to see some movement, or at least we could see some movement. Or listen, the thing's kind of over, but if you're in Iowa or New Hampshire, you can't say so because it's your job to get everybody to show up. So you can't shoo them away. And look, I get different answers depending on who I talk to. I will say that the candidates themselves, and I interviewed Nikki Haley on Saturday, I've talked to Governor Christie about this and others, really seem to believe that over time, if they do the blocking and tackling on the ground, can raise the money they need to do that there can be some movement and shakeups, just like we have seen in other primaries, where somebody looked unbeatable and all of a sudden they weren't. And I think we're just going to have to see, which way this primary goes. I do think it's true that the debates are going to be big, at least the first one. And I also think it's true that while Trump is a strong frontrunner and may very well end up winning this thing big, he is not the same figure he was in 2015 and 2016 when he was the ultimate change agent, a fresh face in politics, even though everybody knew who he was. He's an 8-year incumbent retread. And so there are soft spots to exploit there. The question is whether any of these candidates can do it. One thing I've seen over the last several weeks, they're at least trying, all in their own way, but they're at least giving it a shot. This time 8 years ago, nobody was giving it a shot because they just all assumed he would fade.
So you mentioned your trip to the state of New Hampshire. You talked to Governor Chris Sununu while you were up there, who is working, he says, to help engineer a little bit Donald Trump's defeat. How does he expect to pull that off?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work, but this is another part of Republicans are treating Trump differently this time around. Look, what every Republican is telling me, in New Hampshire in particular, is that a field that remains hopelessly divided helps Donald Trump. I mean, it's true some could just fade into oblivion, and then you just have, a de facto one-on-one race. But what Republican operatives in New Hampshire believe, and what Republican operatives elsewhere believe, is that if you're not doing well come the early fall or late summer, the field has to winnow. And what Governor Sununu, wants to do is use the bully pulpit that he has, and he's a fairly popular governor in New Hampshire. He's won 4 two-year terms. His numbers are good with Republicans and independents who can vote in the New Hampshire primary. Is privately urge candidates not doing well to get lost, and if they don't take a hint privately, to say so publicly. Now, in today's Republican Party and today's Democratic Party, for that matter, party leaders are not that strong. They don't have a lot of play. The parties are really glorified ballot access organizations in many respects. But somebody like Sununu, who starts to say publicly, listen, I think this candidate or that candidate needs to drop out so we can have a one-on-one race with Donald Trump. It gives us a chance for an alternative, speaking as Republicans. I think that could create a media headache for some of these candidates if they're the ones on the receiving end. And I think that Governor Sununu, at the very least, is willing to test that proposition. Some Republicans in New Hampshire tell me it won't make a difference because candidates have egos and they're going to do whatever they want. But others tell me that he has a rather unique voice up there and that it could very well be influential in this way.